Hey, boys and girls. So I figured out how to put myself on this video, which I thought would help all of you instead of just hearing my voice. So bear with me. I'm going to move myself down to the bottom of the screen in just a second, and I'll go through today's lesson with you. But I want to tell you a couple things first. Number one, if it cuts me off and my sentence is not done, that's okay. I'm going to talk as fast as I can, but I only have 5 minutes. Number two, I want you to work just as you work in my classroom. I know that this is not easy. Believe me, it's not easy on me either. And I really wish that we could all be together doing this. However, if you do not follow the steps that I give you, this work will be incredibly hard. This is an easy skill so long as you follow my 3 steps. After this video, I will post another example video if you need it. You do not have to watch it. But remember, at the end of this video, go back to your slideshow and finish your day because your Google form will be at the end. Okay? All right, boys and girls, let's get started. By the way, it's so good to see all of you, even though I'm not seeing you, but here we go. All right. So getting into our first slide here, I'm going to go into present. Okay, so we are going to continue with yesterday's lesson, finding common denominators. Okay, so I want you to pause me, get your math book, and go to page 346. All right, and before we move forward, I want you to also open up your math journal and pause me and reread your notes from yesterday. I promise you it will help you moving forward. All right, so on page 346, now remember, I am going to go fast because of my time. You pause me to work. All right, here we go. So we can use common multiples to find common denominators between 2 or more fractions. As I said yesterday, we're going to start with 2. All right, so I want you right now to list the multiples of 5 in those spaces provided and list the multiples of 2. Do not wait for me. Go ahead and write them down. You know this. Remember, multiples means count by. So for 5, you should have 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. And 2, you should go all the way to 14. And step 2 of your notes, I know I already kind of gave this one away, but step 2 in your journal is to circle the LCM. I know over here it says circle all of them. I don't want you to circle all of them. Circle the LCM, and the least common multiple that 5 and 2 share is 10. Okay, so step 3 says to come down here. Oops, sorry, that's your LCM. Okay, so step 3 says, okay, well, take your 2 original fractions, which were 4/5 and 1/2, and make equivalent fractions using your LCM as the new denominator. Okay, so how did I get from 5 to 10? I multiplied by 2. And remember what you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 4 times 2 is, everybody, 8. Very good, fill it in. And let's do our the other example. So 2 times what is 10? That would be 5. What you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. So that keeps popping up. But you can write 4/5 and 1/2 as 8/10 and 5/10. Pause if I'm going too fast. I'm going to keep moving. This is just a reminder what we talked about. Remember, when you're multiplying by a whole, 2/2, 7/7, just make sure that you're using the same number, and what you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator, and vice versa. Okay, so how do I pause you guys? All right, so question 1 on page 346. So are 4/5 and 1/2 equivalent? Explain. I want you to pause me and answer. All right. Hopefully you put something maybe similar to what I have. I said, come on. I said no, because if you find common denominators, they would not be equal, meaning that their numerators would not. The numerators show what is shaded, and so they do not have the same amounts shaded. So do you remember our not equal sign? That is kind of what I've put here. All right, so here's my work. This is all on your slideshow if you need to go back and look at it, or you can pause. And I want you to go on and pause me and go ahead and do number 2. How could you tell me another way that they are not 4/5? Or excuse me, that they are not equal? Okay, so I would think that a lot of you might have drawn a picture for this one, but I wanted to show you my way. So what I did is I said, okay, well, let's make them equivalent. So how did I get from 1 to 4? Well, I multiplied